In this video, we're going to focus on division using a method that shows how we break down each place value's value to get our quotient. So we're going to start off with 324 divided by 2. And as we always want to, we want to start with the largest place value. So our biggest place value is the hundreds, so we're going to start with 3, which actually is 300. It's in the hundreds place value, so it's a 3, and it's worth 300. So we want to evenly distribute out 300 to 2 different groups. Well, to start off with, the first group can get 100, and the second group can get 100. But I can't give away that third 100 yet, because where would it go? This group already has 100, that group already has 100. So right now, we can't use it. What we can do, though, is now move on to our tens. That 100 we had left over is worth 10 tens, and we have 2 tens there. So what we actually have now that we're going to try to distribute is 120. We had 10 tens before, which is actually 100, and then we have the 20 from the original problem. That's how we get 120. So now we want to distribute tens. Well, each group could get 6 tens, or 60. Let's think of that again. We had 3 hundreds, and we gave each group 100, so that we used up 2 of our 3 hundreds. But we still had 1 left over, so we had to go to our tens place. And we exchanged those 100s for 10 tens, which is still the same thing as 100. And we end up with 120. And then we could have gone 10, 10, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, until we used up all of them. But it's easier to just say, well, I know that this is an even number, and since we're splitting it among 2 different groups, we're going to have 60 here and 60 there. Well, we used up everything in the hundreds and the tens now, so all we're left with is our ones place. And we need to think, well, how can I divide 4 amongst 2 groups? And hopefully what you realize is that, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So each group gets 2 more. And the sum should be the same on the top and the bottom. If we add all this up, we get 162. If we add all this up, we get 162. So we've divided it out evenly, equally, and just the way we wanted to do it. So we've put it into 2 equal groups of 162 each. Let's try a different example now. So for this example now, we're going to try to divide 472 into 4 equal groups, or divide 472 by 4. Well, we can start off just like last time, where we are going to start dividing up our hundreds. We have a 4 in the hundreds place, so we have a total of 400. And since we have 4 groups, it makes it pretty easy. Each group, 100, gets 100. So I've used 400, which is what I had to start off with. So we're starting off pretty well. Now we're dealing with a 7 in the tens. I don't have to bring anything over to the tens place this time because I used everything the first time. So we need to figure out how much can we give with our tens. Well, if we were to give 10 to each group, 10, 10, 10, 10, we'd still have 30 left over. So let's try giving 20. If I gave 20, this is 20, 40, 60, 80. Uh-oh, can't do that. Think to yourself why we can't do that. Why can't I give 20 to each group? Hopefully you're thinking, well, it's because we only have 7 tens, and 80 would mean we would need 8 tens, but we don't have 8 tens, we have 7. So we have to give just 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Now by giving away only 40 tens, we still have 3 tens left over. So we're going to have to combine those 3 tens with our 2. And we're going to have, actually, 32. Well, since we're dealing with our ones now, and this is one of our basic facts, what is 32 divided by 4? Another way to think of it is 4 times what gets us to 32. If you know your facts, hopefully you say 8. So each group is going to get 8, and that's going to use all of our 32 pieces left over. Every row has the same numbers. They all have 100 plus 10 plus 8. So we've divided it evenly into 4 different groups, and if we add them together, we get 118. That is going to be our quotient. But if you're not sure, we can always check it. And we can check it, remember, let me erase some of these down here. Oops. Let me just erase it all. We can check it by by multiplying 118 times 4. Take that quotient and multiply it by the divisor. 4 times 8 is 32. Put down the 2, carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and then 4 times 1 is 4. So we end up with the dividend that we started off with before. We did it correctly. Let's try one more problem. It's a little bit bigger, but it's not something we can't handle. For our final problem of this video, we're going to try dividing 2,172 by 3. Now, it's a smaller divisor than last time. Last time we did 4, this time it's a 3. But I'm giving us a number that goes all the way to the thousands this time. And it really doesn't matter that it goes to the thousands. It's still going to use the same process. So let me give myself my 3 rows. And we'll start off with the thousands. I have 2,000. And I want to divide it into 3 groups. Well, if I try dividing it, or giving each group 1,000, what issue have I run into? Think about last time. What happened when I tried using a number that was too big? Well, it doesn't work. I've used 1, 2, 3,000. I don't have 3,000. I have 2,000, so I can't use 1,000s. So I know when I divide this number by 3, we're not going to be in the thousands place value with our answer. So instead of using thousands, I'm going to have to take that 2,000 and break it up into 20 hundreds. And then combine those 20 hundreds with the 100 that I already had. So we're actually going to work with 2,100 to start off with. Now we want to divide that by 3. Take a look at the first 2 digits. We have 21. Can we divide 21 by 3? Hopefully you're thinking to yourself, yes we can. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And if 7 times 3 is 21, well, 70 times 3 is 210. And 700 times 3 is 2,100. So I can split 2,100 up 3 times and give everyone 700. So 2,100 is gone. And if you want to, you could even just cross it off because we used it already. I may not recommend it, but it's possible. Do what's best for you. Now we're dealing with the tens. We have 7 tens. Well, I could do 10 to each person. But let's see what happens when we try 20. Because that gives us 30, and we still have 40 left over. So I think we can use a little bit bigger of a number. I've got 20, 20, 20. That's 60. And I only have 1 left over. I've used 6 out of our 7 tens. So I have 1 left over. This is the biggest we can go. And that 1 that's left over, that 110, we're going to change it into 10 ones and combine it with the 2. So we have 12. Now we want to figure out 12 divided by 3. Well, hopefully that's one of our basic facts, and you know that it's going to be 4. So we have the same numbers again in each column, and if we add them all together, we get 724, which is our quotient. 2,172 divided by 3 gets us 724.